Hey guys, check this out. Here's the official joke of the day on Friday, October the 11th. What do you call a deal that's never been signed by either party? Well, we got a cool name for it. It's called Phase 1. I mean, it's kind of like, remember the Fed when they came up with, this cool thing called QE, the quantitative easing, and then they came out with QT, and now they're doing the QE again, but they're saying, but it's not the QE. We're going to come up with a new cool name for it. So that's the same shit, okay? Check this out. Great news. We have a deal. But just forget about the fact that nothing has been signed, okay, by either party. Well, hold on a second. Wouldn't that mean that we had a trade deal for almost 2 years now? And nobody noticed? Trump says, who cares? I need the votes now in the Midwest. All the Dakota states, the North Dakota, the South Dakota, the Wisconsin, all the Midwest states. Let's tell them about this great idea of this Phase 1. I learned it from the Fed. And yeah, I will tell them. And I will keep telling them to lower the interest rates. But I'm going to borrow some terms from them that they were trying to use for the QE back then. They wanted to call it Phase 1, but nobody wanted to use that term. So now I'm going to come in and use that stuff on my trade deal. Guys, this is beyond any level of stupidity. What exactly has changed from all the previous meetings with Chinese officials? The answer is absolutely nothing. Has anything been signed? The president was so embarrassed to answer this direct question, he actually refused to answer it himself, and he had Mnuchin do it for him. Look at these damn soap opera right here. Check it out.
And I think the likelihood of it falling apart is not so good. What do you think, Steve? What would you say?
I think we have a fundamental understanding on the key issues. We've gone through a significant amount of paper, but there is more work to do. And we will not sign an agreement unless we get and can tell the president that this is on paper. And I know the vice premier needs to go back and do some work with his team, but we've made a lot of progress over the last 2 days.
And then he had this great idea. How to get out of this shit to get these votes in the Midwest. I need them now. The election is just too damn close. Well, a great idea visited me, guys. Let's just tell everybody that China will buy $50 billion worth of soybeans and agricultural products over the next year. And let's just focus on that. Just make sure when we do this press conference right here, guys, make sure that is all we talk about. And only that and nothing but that. After all, nobody needs to focus on this trade deal because there is no deal. But let's just make sure that we focus on the $50 billion. Let's just throw a number out there that everybody just gonna start thinking about. Let's just make it big. Let's just make it huge that everybody will forget all of a sudden about all the other little details. Oh, well, hold on. And yeah, let's go ahead and throw in some other bullshit in there that sounds good, like the financial and the banking and the currencies deal, which was never a concern 2 years ago. All of a sudden, because of all the trade wars, now it is a problem, like the currencies deal that we are trying to fight, which was never a problem before we started the damn trade war. But let's just throw it in there to just cover up some stuff that we really don't want to talk about.
Another big issue that we've come to conclusion on is currency, foreign exchange. And Steve, do you want to explain that, please?
We've had very good discussions with Governor Yi, the head of the People's Bank of China, their central bank. We've also had extensive discussions on financial services, opening up their markets to our financial services firms. So we have pretty much almost a complete agreement on both those issues.
So here's the deal. I like this round number of 50 billion. And considering, China's only been buying about 8 billion in the last year. 50 billion sounds good. I really like that number. 50 billion sure sounds more than 16 billion. I mean, I like the sound of it. Just like I like tariffs. I mean, there's nothing more that I like better than tariffs, guys.
I do like tariffs. Yeah. I do like tariffs. Yeah. I do like tariffs. Yeah. Or agriculture will be completed because when we bring it up to $50 billion, I project it's going to be the number.
I mean, that's just the real deal. Well, here's the problem, guys. There's one little problem with these calculations. Actually, there's more than one. The problem one is the fact that Chinese were buying 22 billion roughly a year before trade war began. They were buying about 22, 23 billion worth of agricultural products before the trade war was started by Trump in February of 2018. So even if they did buy the entire 50 billion in the next 12 months, that would actually just compensate for the lost sales in the agricultural sector for the last 2 years if we were to round things up. Now, the bigger issue is, why the hell would China all of a sudden buy 500% more from the United States? Who is actually going to guarantee that? See, all the lost sales from the United States in the last couple of years, they went to other countries like Russia and Brazil and so on. And they've replaced that number that they were buying from the United States by buying it somewhere else. So all of a sudden, they're just going to drop all the sales. I mean, certainly the Chinese population didn't go down. I mean, they were about 1.4 billion. They're still about 1.4 billion. So certainly, okay, just because they didn't buy soybeans in the United States, nobody died in China because of that. So that's not likely to change. Okay, all of a sudden to come out with a crazy number like that, okay, it's just plain ridiculous. It's not based on anything. And what's more important, okay, he's not sure of the damn number himself. I mean, he's not even sure. Look at this.
I project it's going to be the number. I don't know.
But Leonardo, Trump says we took in billions of dollars from China in tariffs. Wouldn't that be a great thing for the United States? Guys, seriously, are you damn serious? From China? Hell no, China didn't pay shit. You did. I did. Every American did. See, we got robbed in the middle of the day, and nobody actually called the police. That's the biggest problem. See, the idea of tariffs is good, but it actually never works. I mean, it has very fundamental flaw. It is aimed at reviving manufacturing and bringing jobs back to the United States. But nobody will work here for $4 or $5 an hour. We all know that. Jesus Christ, look at GM on strike over making $60 an hour. So all you end up with in a situation like that is good intentions, but it's going to tax the hell out of everybody that's consuming goods produced in China, because by increasing tariffs, all you're doing is you're costing anybody living here in the United States that's consuming those products to pay a higher price. It's not like all of a sudden you're going to increase the tax or the tariff and basically all of a sudden you're going to see all the people producing the shit here in the United States. It don't work like that. Stuff like that takes time. And we're nowhere close to that time frame to build this facility, and nobody in the right state of mind would even build them, because the main ingredient of manufacturing is the cost of labor. So unless somebody's going to be willing to work for $5 an hour here, it ain't going to happen. Now, there are some solutions to this, which we will discuss in some further videos, but for the point of this video, just focus on this. Tariffs have a fundamental flaw. That's why they have never worked. We've tried this shit here in the United States when it comes to tariffs for 300-400 years, and they have never worked. So to think that they're going to work now is just pure stupidity. Okay, so now Trump clear is not a stupid guy. He's a smart guy. And his intentions are good, but it's not going to produce the results. So our purpose of this is not to judge Trump, whether he's a good or bad president, but to figure out how we actually going to trade this. And I will reveal to you a couple of simple trades, which are going to be highly profitable over the course of the next 30 to 60 days. But for now, just think of this, that higher tariffs do not actually increase the production here in the United States immediately. We're certainly not seeing any result of companies moving back here to the United States to all of a sudden say, oh, hey, we're back here. Now we're producing all these jobs here in the United States. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that overnight, certainly. So in the meantime, all you're doing, every one of us is paying a higher price for the consumer, as a consumer here in the United States for the Chinese goods. Now, it happens on two levels. Okay, one level is some Chinese goods are actually costing more, and we're just paying more money for them. And the second way is it increases the cost of goods sold to the companies that are importing those goods here in the United States. And so some of them are not increasing the cost of the actual price that they're charging the end consumer, but their profits are hurt. And if businesses' profits are hurt here in the United States, what that does, it actually allows them to pay less money out to the people that work for those companies. Because the profit margins are hurting, they're not making money, now they're losing money. Not only they're not able to pay anybody that works for them as much as they used to before, but more importantly, it results in more layoffs and more people losing jobs. I mean, that's why you see headlines all over the place. There's so many companies are actually closing, especially the ones in the mall, because most of the stuff that they sell, it is manufactured in China. So the cost of goods goes higher. The minimum wage here in the United States goes higher. It is impossible to stay in business. Therefore, as a result, you got jobs that are being lost. Yes, some people are making more money, but in the midst of all these positive things that appear to be positive in the news, the greatest economy of all time, 3.5% employment, but people are losing jobs. So these numbers, they're not real, guys. So when we're looking at this, the closest analogy I can come up with, okay, the worst thing next to tariffs is communism. The idea of communism was actually good. Okay, see, the idea of communism was to make everybody equally rich. But exactly the opposite happened. It made everybody equally poor. So the idea of tariffs is good and beautiful and wonderful. It just doesn't work when you break down the economics of it. So, Leonardo, you're saying 50 billion in agricultural purchases is just a pure bluff to get some votes for Trump in the Midwest? That was what this phase one was about? And there's actually no deal still with China? Yes, that is exactly what we're saying. You've got to learn to read between the lines, and you got to start looking at charts, which we will in just a second. So hold on, Leonardo. I saw it on the news. They were showing two signed pieces of paper that look like a trade deal. Come on, guys. This is Hollywood at its best. Check this out. I mean, look at this. Do you know what this was actually? This was actually a love letter from Xi saying, Trump, I love you. I know me and you have a love-hate relationship, but let's make up. And I'm sending you this in Chinese because I know you can't read it. So, let's just use this copy and show people that we got a deal. I signed it, so just show them the signed copy. So here's Trump looking at this shit. He's like, I hope everybody will think it's a trade deal. And then, I mean, look at his facial expression. He's like, I can't read this shit. It's in Chinese. And the Chinese guy here looking at him thinking like, damn. Oh my God. Well, it's good that we're making it look like it's a trade deal. Okay, so does the president look like he actually got a trade deal done? His body language says it the best. Shit, I need a drink. I mean, look at him. I mean, here's a close-up. What the fuck am I going to do if nothing gets signed? Here's a quick history of Trump handshakes to help you understand how bad things have actually gotten. It gotten to the point where Trump has lost the trade war. And it's important to understand that if you're trying to trade the markets. Again, this is not a channel about politics. This is a channel about how will you place your next trade. And understanding these things is crucial if you're trying to play the right side of the market. Here is the handshake with Hillary. I'm the man and you are the woman. And Hillary's like, no, I'm a man. Here's the next one. Punk, what you smiling at? You gonna do as I say. Look at the handshake. He is on top of his game. And of course, Macron says, fuck you, but I know you're right. Now, this one right is a bit more interesting. Trump is like, damn, don't squeeze my hand so hard. I'm the new president, and I know I'm top of my game. And he's like, I want to punch you, but damn it, you're the new president. I'm going to chill for now. But look at this hand. Like if you had a boxing glove right here, he would be punching him. But this one right here is a little bit more relevant to the recency of our discussion. Basically, he tells Xi, look, buddy, I'm on top of my game, and you are going down. And Mr. Panda here is like, well, we'll see about that. And here's how the deal ends. Mr. Chinese Premier has the final laugh. Haha, we got you this time. And Trump is almost crying. Just look at this face. He's like, man, I need those votes in the Midwest, man. Thank you for showing up and acting like we got a deal. I owe you big time on this one, buddy. Well, basically, look at the change in the handshake. Guys, this is a substantial change on who is on top of the game when it comes to this trade deal. Yes, Leonardo, but I still believe there is a trade deal. I know what they were showing was not like the real trade agreement, but they did say there will be no tariffs coming into effect on October 15th. No raise from 25 to 30%. Isn't that like a great deal? It is. If you totally lost your damn mind. We've already had that. I mean, come on. If you paid any attention, this increase is postponed until something gets signed. But it does not cancel December 15th tariff increase, which is still very much in place. Yeah, 15% tariff on 160 billion of imports from China. So get ready for another tax, all American consumers. So how do we trade this no deal phase one? Guys, it is super easy. Short all the tech stocks. There is no resolution on the Huawei, and any intellectual property deal is not even being discussed. It is being said it's going to be a part of the phase 2 or phase 3. God knows when this shit has any remote possibility of happening. Because if you really focus, what was said is there's going to be no signed deal for about 4 or 5 weeks on phase 1, on this hypothetical, imaginary, wannabe, I want to get the votes in the Midwest type of trade deal. Okay, which puts the entire tech sector, particularly the semiconductor stocks, at high risk.
Talk about the Huawei.
I'm sorry, the question is that in this agreement, we're not dealing specifically with Huawei. It's not part of this agreement. That's a separate.
So this is what we've got, despite of a huge move in the technology sector and pretty much the entire market. At one point, we were up 500 points, finished down 319, up 319, but finished down almost 200 points off the highs. The technology sector, and you've got a picture of NASDAQ, huge bearish reversal candle, still heading into a death cross formation between the blue line and the orange line. This is a bearish shoulder formation. Now, it doesn't mean the market is going to drop like a rock tomorrow morning, but it sure tells us that the market will drop in the near term. S&P 500, identical bearish reversal candle, guys. And for those of you that don't know what the heck is a bearish reversal candle, click the links below, take the charts divergence course so you have a better understanding of how to read the charts so you can be a better trader. Now, AVGO, this is our best pick as far as semiconductor stocks. Bearish reversal candle about to make this death cross formation right here. Now, as you can see, while the price action is actually moving higher, institutional investors are getting out here, which is represented by this accumulation distribution line. If they're buying, shouldn't the accumulation be going higher? But no, it's actually going lower. So you got a very nice divergence developing on this chart. Amazon, all-time favorite among institutional investors. Death cross, black candle. Guys, this is not a recipe for a stock moving higher. This is a recipe for a stock moving lower. BKNG, actually a travel stock. We think the travel stock is heading, all travel stocks heading substantially lower. Head and shoulder formation, black bearish reversal candles. We take no prisoners next week or the following week after that. Guys, there will be a substantial drop in the market. So, the next important day for tariffs is November 11th, 2019. During the APEC meeting in Chile, Trump plus Xi dinner date on November 11th. That's when potentially we're going to have some further news on tariffs. Until then, guys, all eyes on earnings. Biggest 4 trading weeks coming up. Get ready to rock and roll. There's going to be some huge money made these 4 trading weeks. And if you're trying to understand how to make the best of trading earnings, guys, 2 things that you want to do right now without wasting any time. Number 1, you want to subscribe to the 13 Market Moves Daily Analysis, where we will reveal our top trading earnings ideas each morning pre-market. Number 2, you want to take the Trading Like a Rockstar course, which will give you 6 hours of understanding the trading correlations, understanding the best strategies for trading earnings. Guys, this is hugely important if you're trying to evolve into the best trader you can be. Take action now. Don't let the news dictate your next trade. Let your own calculations be the way of you making this year your best trading year ever. Let's roll. Make it happen. I'll catch you in the next trade soon.